Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name is John Fearick. I'm CEO of Sligo Leader Partnership. Delighted to welcome you all here for the launch of Innovating Communities. And I'm just going to start by welcoming a few people. First of all, I'd like to welcome Cathaoirleach of Sligo County Council and Chair of the LCDC, Councillor Darragh Mulvey. Members of Sligo County Council, Minister of State Frank Feehan, MEP Chris McManus, officers of Sligo County Council, local community groups, colleagues and friends. So just a bit of housekeeping. Thank you for all keeping on mute at the moment. There is also a chat function in your top right hand corner. Just if you do want to request any information or if you have any questions or queries along the way, and Colette will answer them as we go on. So I'm just going to give you a brief introduction in terms of how this is going to roll out. So I'll start by introducing you to the team here today. So we have Colette McEntee, who's our Network Admin Coordinator of Innovating Communities. And Colette, as I said, will be monitoring the chat box function as we go along. We're also joined by Des Burney. Des is Director and Program Manager of Ice Cream Architecture, and Ice Cream have more than 10 years in delivering design-led programs similar to Ice Cream, and we're really glad to have them on board for this project. This is a cooperative project which we're working with our friends in the other local development companies, Monaghan, Cavan, Leitrim, Louth and Donegal. So I'm going to move on now in the next minute or so, and we're going to be joined by Cathaoirleach of Sligo County Council and Chair of Sligo LCDC, Councillor Darragh Mulvey. So Cathaoirleach, we'd be delighted if you could come on, and if you want to join us now, please. Just unmute your microphone.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Good afternoon. Firstly, acknowledge the presence of MEP Chris McManus and our Minister Frank Feehan, and a lot of friends and colleagues that I see on the chat, so I hope I'm not leaving anybody out. I'm delighted to be here to officially launch this great initiative, albeit in a virtual world. We find ourselves in very unusual circumstances, but this makes it all the more timely to be introducing a programme that challenges us all to think differently. In my role as Cathaoirleach of Sligo County Council and Chair of the LCDC, I get to see at first hand the great work that is being continuously carried out by volunteers and organisations across our great county. I also get to see the help and support that community groups receive through organisations like, we're so lucky to have a group like Sligo Leader Partnership. There is a real necessity, and the last year has challenged us all in how we can support groups and individuals in new ways. There is no doubt that COVID-19 has had a long and lasting effect on us all. And unfortunately, many of us have lost loved ones, businesses have suffered, and local communities have been devastated. But we are resilient, and we all need to pull together to help rebuild our local economy through the various different supports, training and initiatives available through Sligo Leader and the other local agencies. Sligo is a county that is blessed with beautiful landscape and natural amenities. And wouldn't it be great to see some of our local groups with similar interests coming together to take part in this programme, with a view to helping each other to achieve our goals. And this is what design thinking is all about. And I know that Des from Ice Cream Architecture will be explaining the full process to us shortly. I believe that we will look back at this period in years to come and reflect on what we did and how we adapted to change. I challenge you all today to engage in this programme and spread the word in your own community so that we can all join in making this great county even better through tourism, climate change, social enterprise, food initiatives, and whatever areas of expertise that you have. I want to conclude by thanking you all for listening to me, and I certainly look forward to following this project over the next 18 months. Guramahagut, and I'll hand you back now to John.
Thank you, Cathaoirleach, and very, very good. Listen, I'm going to hand you over to Fintan Kennedy now, who's the chair of Sligo Leader Partnership. So Fintan would like to just share a few words with us now, please.
Let me get you there. Sorry, thanks, John, and thanks very much, Dara. Dara gave the salutations to everyone there. He has everyone acknowledged, and I just want to welcome you all here. It's great to see. I think there's, looking at the chat there earlier, there's over 60 people on today. I think there's 100 registered. So, and there's people joining as we go along. So, just on behalf of County Sligo Leader Partnership, I want to welcome you and to thank you all for attending today. I especially want to welcome Des from Ice Cream Architecture delivering the programme, and Colette, she from Innovating Communities, and all the team across Sligo Leader and Ice Cream who are going to be implementing this programme. So I suppose for a bit of background, County Sligo Leader Partnership was established in 1995, and we've seen some serious amount of changes since then, even down to today and how we're launching the exciting programme. But that's just another example of how we face into a problem and we find a way. With the changes over the years, in Sligo Leader Partnership, we're really lucky to have the staff, an experienced staff that we have, and they've grown with the company over that time and supported by our board, and many of them I say on the call here today. They also have a wide and varied experience across the community, which is of benefit to us all and for our overall aims of making Sligo better. So I know Des is going to give a full brief on innovating communities and the design thinking concept. And I've looked a bit into those case studies that they had presented to us and just showed us how it works and how it has worked in Merrion Square in Dublin. It involves different groups coming together with a shared vision. And of that, I can only see that benefiting Sligo, because that's what we all want. We all know it's the best place in the world to live. And if we can leverage the unique capital that we have here, which is our communities, this is going to be a great way for us to scaffold those communities, to put them in the best place to thrive and excel for Sligo. So some of you also might be aware that there's a new leader transitional fund on the offing. And June Murphy will speak about that a bit later. This is another positive for Sligo. And as Dara mentioned, we've all had to endure a difficult year. But the timing is right now for us to adopt approach to a change and engage with this programme. And this will help us all develop our respective areas. As John F. Kennedy said, in any crisis, there's an opportunity. So I'd also encourage you, and actually, as Dara said, I challenge everyone here to engage with groups and individuals around the community for your shared interests. And this will help us achieve our dreams and goals for Sligo through this Innovating Communities. And finally, to close, on behalf of Sligo Leader Partnership, I want to thank you all once again for attending. And I also want to re-emphasise the gratitude that there is to our great staff for the work that they're doing to help to deliver this, together with Des and Colette. We were all in school and we all learned the different pishrogs and the different Irish phrases, and maybe they're coming back for us to reflect on them now and just leave you with there's no strength without unity. So and take care, and I'll hand you back to John.
Thank you, Fintan. Very, very good, and very well said. I've often thought you probably are the JFK really of a Clare in Sligo, you know. But listen, I'm not going to labour on this, but I'm going to introduce Des from Innovating Communities and Ice Cream Architecture. As I said earlier, they have more than 10 years experience in delivering community-led projects using the whole design thinking approach. And I know Des has some slides prepared for today, and he's going to demonstrate how to use the website and so on as well as part of this whole process. So without further ado, I'm going to hand you over to Des, and thanks very much.
Díobh go léir is fáilte rót go Innovating Communities ag an Sligo. Is mise deasún ó bearna ón an tagraíocht ice cream architecture. Is mór an óir dúin a bheith bantach leis an tionscail seo. Agus inis. We are delighted to be leading the training and engagement of the Innovating Communities project. And already we've been working with some of the local co-trainers across Sligo who are going to be supporting the project over the next 2 years. And the co-trainers will work with us to support participants to work through challenges that they see in their local community. So challenges all across Sligo and across the border region. And to work through those challenges to come to solutions that will support community life. So the co-trainers for Sligo are in front of you just now, and they'll be available to support the project throughout. And to just tell you about the journey that we're going on. It's a really exciting journey, and we're at the very start of that process. And the light bulb in front of you, you'll see a bit of a roadmap for that journey. At the moment, we've started to take registrations on the website, innovating.ie, where you will see, and I'll show you a little bit later, that you can put forward challenges that you see your local community can start to tackle. We've had a regional launch, and today is the launch across Sligo for the project, and we're really raring to go now. So we're really trying to encourage people to put challenges forward so that we can start to form cohorts of training participants. And with the support of the co-trainers, and those participants will accept those challenges that are put forward, and we'll work to make sure the challenges are the right ones that fit across the individuals and the groups that are coming forward. Once the cohorts are in place, there will be 2 different types of training program. One is a design sprint, and that is quick fire, really fast-paced project or training program that will look at challenges that feel like they may have already started or that they could be quickly tackled. There will then also be the full-scale challenges, and that will be a longer training program of 10 sessions that will tackle those bigger challenges, the harder ones to tackle. And I'll go through some of those bigger challenges in a little bit. Around the outside of the light bulb at the moment, you'll see the themes of the challenges, and these are just themes that we've put forward as these are the types of areas that we see that there are real need for tackling challenges in the community. So you'll see some of those things like Brexit and climate action, so big issues that we've all heard about that we know we are having to tackle at the moment, right through to things like technology and broadband and digitalization, and how do we really turn to digital and utilize it as much as possible. There's also tourism, which is a big thing in Sligo that we need to look at any challenges that are out there to make sure that we are tackling the right challenges and coming to solutions that will work for the good of the community. So these are just a few of the kind of themes and topics that we want to tackle, but it's up to you to put forward these challenges so that we know what we should be tackling. To give you a sense of design thinking, and some of you may have already been using design thinking or heard of it, and really it's about a mindset and really coming together with a kind of a view that you want to focus on a challenge and really take it forward. And the mindset is coupled with a set of tools, and these tools are designed to solve problems and to focus on a human-centered approach. And that human-centered approach is most critical because that's the thing that we'll keep doing throughout the process, throughout the design thinking stages. And we'll keep reverting back to the people and the communities that are most affected by the challenges to make sure that it works for those people. So throughout the process, we'll have the tools and we'll encourage the skill set and the mindset, and we'll focus on the people that are affected by the challenges to come to those solutions. To give you a sense of where design thinking has come from, it's a phrase that kind of was adopted in the 1950s and 60s. And this was the kind of post-war era where people saw there were huge amounts of innovation and inventions that happened as a result of the kind of the mass production and the fast design processes that were happening during the war. And it's not too dissimilar in some ways to the situation we're in now. And Cathaoirleach mentioned resilience. And what happens in these times where there's increased resilience and there's difficult periods is people see innovation, because innovation stems from challenges. So during the war, all these innovations and inventions were happening. And after the war, people saw the process that designers and manufacturers had gone through in coming up with the solutions. And they coined the term design thinking behind the process that they had generated to create these inventions. But it wasn't just about small inventions, things like the biro here in front of us, or freeze-dried coffee that came about during the war and was a ration for troops on the ground. Penicillin, super glue, all these everyday items that we know well now, they came about during the war. But it wasn't just these small inventions, it was also, they started to see that there were bigger issues and bigger global things that they needed to tackle. These issues are almost sometimes intangible. They're very difficult to tackle. They're quite hard to know where to get started with those challenges. And sometimes there's multiple stakeholders or groups involved that need to work through the challenge together. So this term wicked problems came about. And an example of a wicked problem that we're all facing today is climate change, for instance. And this is a big problem that affects everyone. And we all need to come together in groups to try and solve that challenge. So to go through quickly the stages of design thinking, this is the process that we will give to effectively allow people to lean on that process to work through the challenges. So initially, we want to make sure that everyone who is working towards a challenge accepts that challenge and sees that as the right challenge that they want to tackle. After that, we look at the empathize phase, which is really about research and understanding the full context of the challenge, before then defining what the brief is and making sure that we know the nuts and bolts of what's ahead of us. After that, the ideate phase is about putting forward ideas. And at this point, there are no wrong ideas. Every idea counts and has a merit to listen to. So that's a really fun bit around putting down ideas, and blue sky thinking comes into it, rapid collaboration, all these different quick fire ways of putting ideas forward, before then selecting the ones that have most traction are the ones that are most appropriate to the solution. And these are then tested and prototyped. And before finally, we look at how we materialize the solution. And that is a phase or a process that we can work back and forth through these stages as we need to. If something, when we're testing, we realize that that solution might not work for the community on the ground, we can go back and ideate again, but we have this linear process to work through to make sure we get to solutions. Within each phase then as well, we have lots of tools, lots of ways of working. And obviously, for instance, today, this is not how we would plan to do this project over the screen, but we have lots of tools and methods to use that will keep us going, really innovative tools that will keep us going until the day that we are all back in the same room. So just to give you an example of how design thinking is used across the world, it's used regularly within the big household brands of Apple and Google and all the big corporate and commercial names. And this is a bit of an example of two different approaches. Both kind of started out at the same time. Extravision was a store-focused DVD rental and video rental. Netflix was a subscriber rental that posted out DVDs to people who had put forward a subscription. And over the years, Netflix really focused on their audience, focused on the people at the heart of what they were wanting to offer. and they've continued to innovate and change the offer that they have. So from a subscription services for DVDs, they've moved to a casting service where you can download or stream movies and TV shows. And now they have algorithms in place that are constantly watching what people are interested in seeing. And they've now started to produce TV programs to fit exactly what people want to watch. So it's this story of constantly looking at the audience and looking at the people that would benefit from their service. On the other hand, Extravision never really innovated their offer, and unfortunately they're not on our main streets anymore. So that's just a bit of a tale in the corporate and commercial world, but by no means is design thinking completely reserved for the corporate and commercial world. If anything, it just shows us that we can learn from them, and we can see the effectiveness of the process and the challenge and the way they deal with challenges. Today, I want to give you an example of a project that we've worked on in Huntly in Scotland, and this is a rural market town of about 8,000 people. And over the years, the town has declined in the centre. Its importance hasn't been so great, and as connectivity in the region has moved to the bigger towns and cities. And it's meant that there's been a huge amount of vacancy rate in the town centre. And when we originally started working in Huntly, people were quick to tell us that what Huntly needed was more retailers to come to the town centre. So we set about a process of design thinking, working alongside a local town team. So these are the organisations that are active in the town centre. And we worked with them looking at the data, things like vacancy rate, to fully understand and empathise with the local community and to really understand what the challenges were. And we learned quickly that actually the big challenge and almost the wicked problem was that people needed access to the town centre so that they could do things themselves. The town centre had become hugely owned by external property portfolios and investment companies, and who didn't really think about the profit or think about the town other than on a profit sense. So we looked at setting a roadmap for the town to go, and effectively looking at how they could unlock the town centre. So the wicked problem of the town centre was there, but within that there were lots of smaller issues and challenges that they needed to work through, things like transport to the outlying villages, and how they could put forward events and communicate with the wider community. So this strategy gave them a route map to work through. And since the strategy, they've secured funding for 2 buildings in the town centre. And they've also got a program of activities that they want to run that are happening. And they've started to think about electric cars, stations, different cycling hire, lots of different methods to get access into the town centre for people from outlying villages and vice versa. Another example of design thinking in action is here in Merrion Square, and Fintan mentioned this earlier. This is a more urban context, so but it's still, they went through a similar process of design thinking, looking at the challenges that the square faced. So around the outside of the square, there are a lot of national agencies and organizations, and National Gallery and the National Library, and lots of different organizations that came together and went through a process of how they could look at Merrion Square to make it a destination for tourism. And it was at a time when tourism was struggling post-recession, and they wanted to make Merrion Square into a destination. So through this process, they got together, they went through the design thinking stages, and they came at the other end with lots of solutions. One in particular was around a management company that looked at the development of events in Merrion Square. But these are just 2 examples of design thinking in action. And really, Innovating Communities is looking at the challenges that people across Sligo and the border region are facing just now. And we want to put that to you to give us the challenges so that we can work together with you to develop the solutions. And today I want to give you a quick run through just of the website that we have set up, innovating.ie. And this website is a bit of a ground zero for the moment in terms of the project, until we can be really focusing on the on how we can, until we can meet together and focus our different approaches in different ways. So bear with me one second as I open up the website. So this is the ground zero of Innovating Communities at the moment. You'll see there's information about design thinking. There's also challenges that have been put up already. And most importantly, at the moment, if you scroll down to the bottom, there is a sign up space where you can, it's just very simple information, but we really encourage everyone to register as soon as possible on the site so that you can start to input your challenges and then start to see the types of training that we're going to be delivering. So just a simple sign up form. And if you go back to the homepage, there's also space over here for the challenge bank. And that challenge bank is that space that we're hoping that people can start to post some of the challenges. I know already that lots of people from Sligo have been posting challenges, and you can see some of them down here. So if you click filter by, you can filter by any of the 6 counties, and click Sligo, and you will see the challenges that people have started to put up across the county. So you'll see it asks just to put up a title, a description of the challenge, and then when you're viewing other people's challenges, you can like that challenge, and that registers your interest in the challenge. So it means that we might get in touch to see if that's something that you would like to join a training cohort to help tackle that challenge. You'll also see on the challenge bank the list of categories, and that was what I mentioned around the light bulb. These are some of the thematic areas that we see the training fitting within. It doesn't have to fit specifically into any of these, but it's likely that a lot of the challenges coming forward will come close to some of these particular areas. So I can't encourage you enough to please go and register on the website and to fill in the challenges, especially to look at those challenges that people have already put, to make sure that if somebody has said something similar to the challenge that you would like to tackle, that you get involved there. And so you'll see when you go into a challenge that has already been put up, there's a space at the bottom for you to start a conversation. And there you can add your comments, say you're interested in that challenge. And from there, we'll be able to start to build the cohorts of challengers. So there's lots of other things on the site. I won't go through it all just now, but just to say that will be a hub of support. So that's where a lot of the training initially will happen. And there's a space there for you to create a profile about about yourself, about your groups that you're involved in. So there's lots of space to do different things on the site. And just quickly then, if you bear with me one second, we'll go back to, so the challenge bank. And now, just before I finish, I just really want to invite people to put forward challenges and to get involved, get in touch with us at the project as well, so that we can start to focus these cohorts of training, and we can definitely start to respond to the challenges that you're putting forward. I'll hand over now to back to John just before the Q&A.
Yeah, thanks very much for that, Des. Very informative. And as Des said, please go into the website www.innovating.ie. You can go in and have a look around, and you can go into the challenge bank and see all the various different challenges that are up there already across the 6 different counties. Also, the chat box function is there as well, just if you have any queries while Des and Colette are here also. June will be speaking in a few minutes just in relation to the transition fund. And I think we have Minister of State Frank Feehan with us there also. Just, I think if you wanted to have a quick few words there, Frank.
Yeah, thanks very much, John. And Good afternoon, everyone, and I want to thank you and all your staff at Sligo Leader for your kind welcome. And as Minister for State, I am delighted to be here with you all this afternoon. I'll do virtually celebrate the launch of Innovating Communities Leader Cooperation Project in County Sligo. And also I want to pay tribute to my colleague, Councillor Darragh Mulvey, and all his council colleagues as well for all the great work they're doing. I think Des summed it up there regarding challenges, innovation, solutions, and I think that sums up effectively what's going to happen in the coming weeks and months. And in normal times, I'd be addressing you in person, and hearing firsthand. But effectively, this is progress, and it brings communities together across County Sligo. And I want to commend all of you for what you aim to achieve in Sligo, which is Innovating Communities. And I know that it's the first of its kind in the region, and one which puts innovation to the core when it comes to rural development. I think, this COVID-19 has presented challenges for rural communities, but it's also, as you rightly said, thrown up huge opportunities. And this government want to capitalise on that together. And Minister Humphreys is fully determined to ensure that our rural communities are at the fore of, I suppose, recovery post-COVID-19. I spoke with the Minister just before the event, and she advised me that she is really looking forward to publishing the government strategy on rural Ireland in the coming weeks. It'll set out how our key stakeholders, including our LCDC and local development company here in Sligo, can play a pivotal role in the recovery for rural Ireland. And, we're all partners in achieving a common goal for rural Ireland, and that is making our communities better places to live, to work and to do business in post-COVID. To achieve this, we really have to have innovation, cooperation and hard work at the centre of the strategy. And as I said, the COVID-19 crisis has shown us that we can adapt to different solutions. We're here on Zoom. I've been on my 9th Zoom call today, and I don't know what we're going to do when this is all over, but maybe we're going to get that balance. But the one thing I have noticed is that Sligo and the Northwest, there's a huge opportunity here. And the amount of people who I've known all my life who have been in London and Glasgow and New York and wherever, even Dublin, are all coming back, and they all want to come back. And this is a huge opportunity, again, that we're re-evaluating the importance of local economies, and I suppose reimagine the potential of rural Ireland has and what it can achieve. Again, look, to conclude, I'd like to commend the staff again of the Sligo Leader Company for organising and this meeting today. And also, I want to wish you every success and with the implementations of this important project in our communities in County Sligo. And look, I think you've heard enough from me. Let the real work be done. But I'm absolutely delighted to be involved. I'm passionate about our local towns, our local communities, and especially in County Sligo. And I look forward to working with you in the future. Every success, and enjoy the weekend. COVID-free, of course.
Thank you, Minister. Thanks for those words. So for those of you that remember Gay Byrne in the Late Late Show years ago, he was ably assisted by a lady called Colette. So we have a chat function here today with I think there's a bit of work to be done now on it, Colette. So I'm going to hand it over to you and say, roll it there, Colette.
Thank you very much for that. So it's lovely to be here this afternoon, everyone. I am Colette McEntee, and I'm the Network Admin Coordinator of the Innovating Communities Project, Leader Cooperation Project, involving Sligo and the neighbouring counties Cavan, Monaghan, Donegal, Louth and Leitrim. And so that's where I slot in, liaison between everyone. And so I'm here today to take any of your queries or discussion points that have streamed in while the event has been taking place. So we had input from Eilish Gray just saying this is fantastic for Sligo. I'm looking forward to working in collaboration. This will help Sligo grow and lead to huge growth within Sligo. The tourism side of things would really benefit from this as well. So I would implore all of you, again, to go on the website. Any ideas, challenges you have, please log them on the website, and then you can get liking each other's and get involved and get moving on the programme. And then we have one from Finton. If you have signed up earlier, do you need to sign up again? I'll put that to you, Des, as you know the ins and outs of the website itself. So yeah, go ahead.
Sure, thanks, Colette. Fintan, you shouldn't have to sign up again. So once you're registered on the site, it should all work, and that will allow us to keep notifying you about the events and about new challenges, and anything that you like on the site as well. That will give you a specific notification if other people comment or if they add to that challenge as well. So if you're registering, you'll get lots of information, and it'll all be targeted around the things that you have kind of shown your interest to across the project. So again, one more plug, I encourage everyone to go on and register, and that will allow us to keep you updated about the project.
Great, thank you, Des. And then I have another from a volunteer here in the county. Will the training be kept local, or could it involve participants from across the region? For example, if your challenge is similar or in line with one from another county. I can put that to you, Des, but also perhaps John, you might want to expand on that.
Sure.
To go, Des.
Yeah, thanks, Colette. I think it's absolutely imperative that we are connecting up people and groups across the county and across the border regions. So, yeah, as much as possible, when there's challenges from like-minded people and there's an opportunity to connect together, I think that's what we will look to do. There's a huge amount of shared learning as well that people can take. So from a group of villages might be able to learn from each other, or towns to town. It could be either that there's a network of artists or a network of food and drink providers might look to tackle a challenge, and that would start to create a training cohort. So as much as possible, it's about connecting different people behind these challenges. So it can be across the county, or it can be across the region.
Thanks.
Thank you, Des. Sorry, do you want to input, John? Sorry, before I go on ahead.
I was just going to say, I suppose even from our own point of view for Sligo Leader Partnership, we've been working with our colleagues across the local development companies as part of this cooperative project, which has been really good and beneficial, because we get to know what are the challenges in Monaghan and in Donegal and in Leitrim and Louth and Cavan. So I suppose there will be an element of certainly sharing the challenges and opportunities in each location, and that's something we can certainly look at addressing, yeah.
Thank you, John. We have just some more input from David here. So when a problem is identified, what happens in the next step? So David's internet slipped off on him, so he might have missed some information on that. And he's just asking, is it just a notice board? And then I suppose that would also kind of tie in with the next one from Brendan. Do you expect to be it to be an investigation output into every project in the bank, or just a few? So I suppose just the challenge bank itself, Des, if you could maybe explain that a bit further and expand. Thank you.
Yep. So at the moment, David, we're looking to bring as many challenges as possible into the challenge bank, and there will be a process of connecting those challenges based on what people have said they need to they would like to focus on. So it's really about bringing them together. So if you're in a community group or a town or village and you're thinking about a challenge that's appropriate, it might be a good idea to come together with other groups and to come pre-formed with your challenge to the challenge bank, and to highlight that there are multiple groups or individuals involved in this to tackle it. So as much as possible, it'll be about connecting them. We would like to think that we can tackle every challenge. Maybe not every challenge has a solution, but as much as possible, we will see that people's challenges are brought together into a set of training cohorts that should cover a lot of the bases of the challenges that are up there. It certainly shouldn't be about being a notice board, and we'll strive to make sure that the challenges, all the challenges, or as many as possible, have a place within the training cohorts.
Perfect. Thank you, Des. And then oh yes, so we've a question, some comments here from Dorothy, like looking forward to working with it and getting involved, and well done. So again, guys, get on the website. If you're not in it, you can't win it. So that applies to the challenges. If you have something in your head, get it on the website, because everyone can like and share and add to them even. Is there a hashtag we can follow for the project? It'll be hashtag Innovating Communities. I'll put it in the chat here, and also hashtag Innovating Sligo. I'll pop them in now. And what is the time scale for this? I'll put that to you, Des.
Sure. Well, the time to put the challenge in is now, or right after the event. And we are looking to get the actual training started as soon as possible. So if there is a kind of formed challenge and a formed group of individuals or community groups that are ready to go, then we'll be ready to get started with the training. We do expect that there will be some kind of needle and threading to make sure that the challenges are brought together in terms of groups as well. So it doesn't mean the training has to start immediately. It can start any time over the next, say, 6 months to 12 months. And the project is going to last until October of 2022. So there's lots of time there to get started, but as much as possible, we'd love to get started with some of the challenges just now.
Brilliant. Thank you, Des. And thanks everyone for your input there, your questions and your congratulations. If you have any further questions, you can visit us on the website. Also contact the Sligo Leader Partnership yourself. But we also have hello@innovating.ie that you can contact as well. So yeah, thank you very much, Des. I'll close the Q&A and I'll hand it back to yourself, John. Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much, Colette and Des, for answering the queries also. So I'm now going to hand you over to June Murphy, who is the Leader Partnership Company Program Manager for our Leader Fund. As Fintan alluded to earlier, when he was talking that, you know, it's very important for us that we have the support of a very good and experienced staff, and also the support of our board, who we thank for backing this project today as well, and the project launch. So without further ado, I'll hand you over to June, who will just talk a little bit about our transition fund, which will be going live in April. Thank you.
Thanks, John, and thanks everybody. It's, as Dara said earlier on, it's lovely to see so many faces that I recognise, but also some new faces as well. As John said, my name is June Murphy, and I work with Sligo Leader Partnership, and I work on the Leader programme as well as the Social Inclusion programme. And through that, we are always looking for new ways to support our communities, to identify their challenges, and to try and support them to develop projects to address them. Be that through Leader funds, through SciCap, through TOOS or RSS, or many of the other programmes that we deliver here at Sligo Leader. And we believe that this Innovating Communities project and design thinking is going to help us to do that, or support us to do that. So what I'm going to do is just talk to you very briefly about the opportunities that might lie for you within our new Leader Transition programme. So first of all, for a second, I just want to give you a little bit of context. Our existing Leader programme, which was the 2014 to the 2020 programme, has just been completed there at the end of December. We're 100% committed, and it would have meant 5.7 million euros directly invested into Sligo communities and businesses throughout that period, and that is throughout the county. The new programme is currently being designed at European level, and is expected to start in 2023. So as might have been mentioned a little bit earlier, the transition programme was announced by Minister Humphreys in December of last year, which is fantastic and most welcome news for us. Because what it does is that it enables us to bridge the gap between the programme that has just closed and the new one that is going to be starting in 2 years' time. It also enables us to fund projects and to continue to fund projects on the ground. Also to take this little bit of time to consult with you, your community groups, your social inclusion groups, and all of the businesses to help us to input into the design of what that new Leader programme and what those funds will be for. At the exact same time, we're going to have a Leader Food Initiative program that's going to be managed nationally, and it's going to run alongside this transition program. There is between 5 and 8 million euro available for the development and support of the food industry, which is a very positive program. Both of these programs are going to start on the 1st of April this year. The rate of aid for community groups will remain at 75%, and the rate of aid for private businesses is going to increase to 75%. It would previously have been at 50%. And this is to further support enterprise development and job creation in rural areas, especially given the impact of COVID and Brexit. All of our other general leader rules will still apply. So I suppose the question is, what is the benefit of this Innovating Communities project for you when you're looking at the Leader Transition Programme? What it's going to enable us to do, especially in relation to communities and villages, is to engage directly with not only our existing clients, but also with new clients, and especially those who may not have benefited from Leader before. It's going to help us to provide you with skills and build capacity to prepare you for the big fund that will arrive in 2023. It'll help us to promote projects which support communities in post-COVID environment, as well as supporting social inclusion activities that address the severe impact of COVID on all of our communities. It will help us to support digital transformation, to maximise the potential of broadband and the digital economy in all of our communities, to build awareness for the potential of remote working facilities and digital inclusion, to support smart village opportunities, and to help those who want to identify proposals for the new funding, European funding programs that are coming down the line, and to encourage communities and sectors to come together to develop shared plans. In relation to enterprise creation and job creation, it's going to help us to support sectors such as tourism, hospitality, and food, which are very important to us here in Sligo. To explore new communities, new markets, to expand, to innovate, and to diversify. Again, especially in response, to recent job losses and the impact of Brexit. To promote remote working opportunities and to support rural employment. It'll also help us to support communities to develop projects that may halt rural decline, such as coordinating of festivals, creation of new community transport solutions, the development of new rural tourism opportunities, and the development of projects to reduce elderly isolation or other social inclusion needs. Also, in terms of other thematic areas, it's going to help us to support new and innovative projects in the areas of climate action, environmental protection, and the green economy, as well as supporting sustainable tourism businesses. So as I think one of the questions that was asked in the chat room, what happens next? Well, we have ice cream architecture that are here to lead the training and to help us explore design thinking and to apply that as a possible solution to each of our challenges. We have 6 company co-trainers to support you along that process. We have Shona Heffernan, Claire Moles, Karen Gavadon, David Conlon, Sean Connolly, and Eamon Harron. And they're going to be there to help to support you along that way. And to make sure that we meet your needs and your training needs, we really need you to input your challenges on the innovating.ie website. And the more the merrier. You don't have to be limited to just one challenge. And again, we're going to try and help group some of those challenges together and hope that we will get started very, very soon. But as Des mentioned, even if you don't have a challenge just yet, maybe to talk to some of your other community groups or other groups that are working in your area and to have a little bit of a think about it. Because again, this program is going to run over the next 12 to 18 months. And again, I think as Colette also mentioned, is to maybe to talk to us if there is something that you want to explore and see how we might be able to support you. A colleague of ours at one of our meetings had mentioned at one stage, and I think it's very true, that every challenge can unearth a new opportunity. And we believe that this program is going to help us to do that, to help you to do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, June. And as I said earlier, it's very important to us, the experienced people that we have in Sligo Leader. And if you have any queries whatsoever after today, please feel free to contact our office and we'll assist you in whatever way we can. So I want to finish up by just thanking everyone for attending today. You know, for us, we're really excited to be part of this project. And again, I want to thank Colette for being with us today. Colette, on behalf of Innovating Communities as the coordinator, and Des, obviously, as part of Ice Cream, the company who's delivering the project. I want to thank Minister of State, Frank Feehan, Cahirlock, Dara Mulvey, all our various different guests who have been on today. And to you, the community groups, again, just to encourage you to come forward with whatever projects that you think you could possibly look at. And it doesn't matter if it's not ready to go at the moment. This is an opportunity to really use, to unlock the potential in your region and in your groups. So please do be part of it. And it's all about really being able to deliver projects in County Sligo. And we'd love to think that this innovative programme will help deliver that. So thank you very much again for being part of today, and we hope to hear from you all soon. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Happy weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Brilliant stuff. Well done. Looking forward to getting stuck in.
Well, Anthony.
Thanks, Anthony.
Thanks, Anthony.
Do you call him?